Hi everyone, welcome back. Just took a sip of water and just been doing videos, and I've just done a video. I'm not sure when it'll be uploaded, but on, just when you have the inspiration, just follow through immediately, and it's made such a difference. I'm doing that now. And just a little tip, when you get that hunch, when you get that inspiration, follow through, because that frog leaps you instead of like a little mini step forward. When you do it immediately, it frog leaps you. Okay, and that's what reality creation is all about. So on this channel, we really get into what reality creation is and what it isn't, how to create consciously as opposed to creating unconsciously. And it takes out all the crap we've been taught about. Things take time, things take forever. You need to analysis paralysis to fix yourself, blah blah blah. I lost decades chasing that, and that's why I started this, to tell people it doesn't have to be that way. Okay, and one of the things that I lost decades with, that I was obsessed with, like millions of us, and a lot of my clients as well, my coaching clients, a lot of them, we are obsessed. Me, not anymore. I've kicked the habit. It is an addiction. Okay, just to call it what it is up front. But chasing predictions on your life. I've addressed this before. I will address it again. I will keep bringing it up until we get it. I will say it in different ways, but it is pretty important, because you kind of like get lost chasing predictions. What's going to happen in your life? Are you going to get that job? Are you going to what's going to happen in your marriage? What's going to happen with your kids? What's going to happen with your health? You want to know everything, all the areas in your life. So my clients and myself, in my past at least, I used to chase tarot readings, astrology readings. I used to be fascinated with numerology, and I was good at the human pin code. I still am, and I was using it as a means to find out what's going to happen, as a means to giving myself that security and comfort that what I perceived to be my shitty life, my crappy life, was going to turn around, and something was going to save me from these situations. Okay, and that is why I was going for these predictions. Let's be honest, you're going there to get some sort of relief, emotionally, psychologically. You're going there to get some sort of relief, assurance, because you can't see the good that's coming. So you want to hear about the good from somebody else. Okay, now I want to say up front, there's nothing wrong with tarot readers. I do basic tarot. I'm not as good as some other people, but I do, and I know a little bit about astrology. I haven't really come out, now I'm coming out, but I have channeled. I do channel. I don't do it for people. I did years ago, and I also am very good at the human pin code, which is a form of numerology. Although the creator of the human pin code may not appreciate me saying that, so let me just disclaim that it's a modality in its own right. Okay, and all of these things are fantastic if you are dabbling in it for the fun of it, if you're not going to rely on it, if you're not going to put your life on hold because of it, or redirect your life according to the prediction. And all of those things are fun if your foundation for reality creation is steady and firm. Okay, because ultimately, by me going to somebody else and asking them what's going to happen in this relationship, at work, with money, with my health, with my family, with my kids, with my friends, by me asking what's going to happen, implies that I am not in control. It not only implies that, it very clearly states that you are not in control. You are not the option to power, as Neville Goddard says, and as Napoleon Hill and many others have clearly stated to us, as Wayne Dyer, Tony Robbins, Louise Hay, Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza. I can go on. All of them are saying all of this in the same way, in different ways, but they're saying the same thing over and over again. You are the operant power, to use Neville Goddard's words. You create your reality. There's no 95%, there's no 99%, there's no 70%, it's 100%. When you get that, you would stop chasing, I'm a Scorpio, so I would be like, on my feed in YouTube, they'll be like, it would come up automatically a few years ago, what's going to happen this month with my star sign. And I used to live by that. I'd be like, oh, so, and then I'd make it about that person. And it was bordering on the ridiculous, because inside of me, biochemically, my addiction hormones were kicking in, my dopamine levels, my serotonin levels were all dependent on what this person was saying. So I'd be on a high depending on the good news that I'm chasing after, And I had an ex-colleague call me last week, and we often catch up every few months. And she said to me, you know what, do you know a good tarot reader? And yes, I do actually know quite a few good tarot readers. But I said to her, you know what, I don't do that anymore. She said, really? And I said, no, I don't do that anymore. Because what are you trying to find out that she's going to tell you? She said, no, but I want to know, because I'm sitting at home. I've been furloughed, I've been retrenched from my job. I've got the money to invest, but I don't know what I want to invest in. And I want to start a business. And anyway, I just, the previous boss, our mutual boss, hasn't looked out for me. He could have done this for me. He could have kept me in that company. He could have given me this position, and he didn't. So she was starting to talk about tarot and bringing up the past, and she was now immediately living in the past, re-establishing that old version of herself that she really, her higher self doesn't want her to do, quite frankly, And she was broadcasting the old story, like a lot of us do, And I said to her, you know what, her name, I said, what are you trying to find out? Because we've spoken about this 2 years ago, how talented you are, and how, you're such a style icon. You shop online, and it's not hard work for you. You know all the spots in Dubai, in this country, in that country. You know where to go to get the best fashion. Your house is stylish. You've got that thing, that X factor. That is really what makes you happy. So that's really what you should be pursuing. And she was like, oh yeah, you're right. And she obviously called me spiritually, energetically, vibrationally for a reason to hear these things, But, and I said to her, are we going to talk about this again in 2 years' time, So she just immediately stopped dead in her tracks in terms of what she was trying to pursue from a tarot reader. And in fairness to the tarot reader, they're going to read off you energetically. So there's multiple things, and this on this path can be right, and this on this path. That's why it's all jumble, and it may or may not apply. And people think the tarot reader is wrong, or the channeler is wrong, or the astrology is wrong. And it's not that they're wrong. It's just that you want to take ownership of your reality. You want to create your reality. You want to determine your fate. You decide when you wake up with your thoughts and your intention and your framework, your reality framework that I can help you put in place. You decide, you create your framework, you dismantle the old one, you create your framework, and you decide, okay, this is what I'm wanting to create. And then it starts merging with the divine plan that's been crafted out for you, and the two things dovetail, and it then flows. You're in the stream, you're in the flow. You've been in the flow many times. And when you do that, you're immediately switching the engine off. When you're running in a panic to a channeler to hear something about your job or money or your love life or whatever, when you're running in a panic to get that confirmation, that affirmation, that reassurance, then you've stepped back into fear, and you've stepped back into the matrix. You've lost in the matrix. Okay? So you only want to do that. In fact, I don't even do that, to be honest, anymore. I don't do that anymore. I'm not even curious about what it's saying about me, because there was another client of mine who used to watch religiously, and I'm talking about every night, watching YouTube videos on astrology religiously, okay? Tarot/astrology, there's a combination, and there's a couple of people who do it on tarot, and there's one or two that are very good, but it follows a pattern. So after a few weeks, they're really saying the same thing over and over again, no fault of theirs, but they're saying the same thing over and over again. And a year later, my client hadn't moved forward 1 inch, not 1 inch forward, energetically or vibrationally, frequency wise. In fact, she was cementing her past, cementing her limitation, cementing her panic, cementing it in the neural track. Okay, so you want to let go. You want to let go of any addiction, really. Anything that's altering your chemical makeup, that's driving your dopamine in an unrealistic way. Unrealistic meaning your true reality. Your true reality is what you really intend, what you really think, what you really want to go for, what you're really aiming for. And you're couching it in this framework now that says everything is to my advantage. Things always work out for me. I have no enemies, I only have friends. You're couching it in a framework. You intending, and you're following through. You're changing every day, and you're morphing into this better version of yourself. But you are in the driving seat, okay? Not someone else's interpretation of you and what may or may not happen to you, based on some arbitrary measure of your emotional state at that point in time. Okay? Because these emotions, happiness, joy, sadness, depression, anxiety, fear, those are all surface emotions. True fulfillment is beyond that. It's beyond that. Okay? So this is just a discourse on tarot and astrology, and not to take away from their talents, because if you do something and you're really good at it, I'm really good at a lot of things, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to be doing it, or that I want to do it, or that I should be pursuing it, or I should be, sharing it with others, because there's also some not so great tarot readers and astrologers and channelers out there where they can see this person has a weakness and is very dependent on them, and they really should be letting this person go energetically and finding themselves and really, establishing a secure part within themselves instead of running to them for consultation all the time. And a lot of people don't do that. They don't have the spiritual maturity to say no to these clients and send them on the way. Much like plastic surgeons, they can see you're coming there and you clearly have a problem because you're doing so much plastic surgery, and instead of just saying to you no, they still take your business. Okay, so you it's the jailer and the prisoner. The warden and the prisoner. They're both in the same place. The only thing that's separating them is that cage, that locked door. They're both watching each other across that. So it doesn't matter which side you're on, whether you're on that side of the tarot reader or the channeler, or whether you're a client. You want to evolve to the point where you're really owning your creation. You're owning this around me, So for example, when something goes bad in my life, inverted commas, I immediately, I've trained myself, I've put in the framework in place, and immediately something comes up and says, this, it's automatic now. It's weird, it's automatic. This too is to my advantage. Now, that's not to say I don't have a down moment, I don't have a low moment. I'm just not sitting in that anymore, and I'm not wallowing in that crap, basically, because that has a domino effect, and that's when you devolve, So it's often expensive. I laugh at myself a lot. I no longer jump and look for the nearest channeler, tarot reader, astrologer, and the freedom and the liberation from making those decisions, those evolved decisions, you can't buy that on a shelf. Try it. Okay, hit me up, like, share, subscribe, smash that button, comment. I want to hear what you have to say about this. Okay, because most of us have been down this path. And hit me up for a consultation, a coaching session. There's a couple of sessions. It's made a tremendous amount of difference to my current clients and my past ones. Okay, I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.